My name is Monwabisi, and I will be your program director for today. Allow me to welcome every one of you to the UNISA Gauteng exam preparation workshop hosted by our Ekurhuleni RSC. Now, before we waste any time, I would like to call out one of our student counselors, Ms. Masarame Bale, who's a student counselor from the Vaal region. She'll be officiating, officially opening our workshop, doing a welcome and the purpose of the day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May I officially open our exam preparation workshop and warmly welcome all the presenters who will be presenting today. In our midst, we acknowledge the presence of Mr. Daniel Rasebotsa and Ms. Mashudu Chikakisa, Dr. Welcome Kubeka, Ms. Philisiwe Maneli, Ms. Mary Moloisane, Ms. Thulisilema Zibuku, Mr. Xolile Gaba, Mr. Fatwane Makahane, Mr. Clive Mundure, and Dr. Pitswane. I further welcome the program director, who is Mr. Monwabisi May, my fellow colleagues, and most of all our students who made us to gather here. The purpose of the workshop is to empower our dear students as they prepare for their examinations. This kind of preparation will bring positive results to our students. I strongly believe that after this workshop, they will have so many takeaways with them. Thank you so much, and may you enjoy the rest of the workshop.
Today, we'll basically be discussing exam issues, examination matters. That is from your proctoring tools, from your invigilation apps, how to write exams, etc. I'm having Mr. Daniel Rasebotsa and Ms. Mashudu Chikakisa from Assignments Department. Now, what they will be talking about is assignment matters.
Good morning to all the colleagues and all the students. My name is Mashudu Chikakisa. I am from Assignment Department. I'm one of the supervisors in Assignment Department. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share the information with our students. So assignments have already been submitted. So I'm not going to talk more about the assignment. Assignments have been submitted. They have been marked. We are only receiving the few ones that are left for the student to submit. So Assignment Department, we are responsible for the administration of the off-timetable model. So just briefly, I just want to touch on the assignments. When you, on your tutorial letter on the announcement, the lecturer have already indicated how many assignments you are supposed to submit. Those assignments, they've been allocated with weights. So if it's assignment 1 and 2, you will have maybe 50% and 50%. So there is a reason why they've been allocated with those weights. And then again, assessments without weights, they are not going to contribute towards the final mark or towards the year mark. So if on the tutorial letter, they've indicated that assignment 1, it's 0% weight, just know that it's not going to be used anywhere. It's just for assessment. So let's pay attention to the weights that have been indicated on the tutorial letter. And then again, when it comes to the calculation of the final mark, we've got weights again. So if your year mark is 100%, that 100% is not going to be used towards the final mark as it is. So let's pay attention to the announcement. On the announcement on the tutorial letter, they will indicate that it's only 20% that is going to go towards the final mark, and maybe 80% is the examination weight. Examination admission will be run tonight. So if you don't have examination admission and you go and write examination, your examination script is not going to be marked. So here I'm talking about the portfolios because I'm from Assignment Department. I'm focusing more on the off-timetable submissions. Those are the ones that does not have an exam date attached to it. So if there's no examination admission, there's no exam. Let's pay attention to the examination admission criteria. We only have currently 3. It's either you have submitted one of the assignments before the examination admission date, which is tonight, then you will be granted examination admission. The second criteria is a submission of more than one assessment. So the lecturer will indicate how many assessments are required. but mostly it's for the year modules. But the exam that we are going to run now, I think is for semester modules. But then just in case you have that criteria as a criteria for admission, please pay attention to that. And then we've got modules that require a certain percentage for a student to be granted admission. So these are the only 3 criteria. When we run admission tonight, the system is only going to look at this criteria, which is also indicated on your announcement. If it's a submission of 1 assignment, and the first assignment was last month, but the second assignment, it's next month. So obviously you're not going to be granted admission. So we are encouraging students to submit all the assignment to get examination admission. With the off timetable modules, the examination timetable, when we run admission tomorrow, you should be having your examination timetable. If it shows departmental requirements, it means it's an off timetable module. It's a portfolio that maybe you are given a day, 48 hours, more than 5 hours to go and write it and come back and submit it again. So then dates are normally communicated on the announcement. You won't find it on the examination timetable. So for those students who will like some sort of a letter showing that they are writing a portfolio on that day, they must communicate with the college. So if the submission of this off timetable, we're using the same site that we are using for submission of assignment. So if you go, you have assignment 1 and 2 and 3 supposed to be exam, and there is no submission button for a 3. It's either you're not identified as one of the students who are supposed to write, or you are trying to access it before the opening date. The lecturer will communicate to the student to say the submission of this certain portfolio will open maybe the 3rd of May from 10 o'clock. So if you go and try to access it before then, it won't be open for submission. Another one is when it's after the closing date. After the closing date, when you go to the Moodle system, there's no submission button. It means you are late. So submission that went through will be marked. Even though they are written, maybe they're late by 2 hours or 1 day, as long as they went through, they will be marked. Late submission on the link, they are not going to be routed to the marking system. So even if you try to submit on the link and it looks as if it went through, just know that the fact that it was after our closing date is not going to be marked. So the off timetable modules, I've already indicated, they are submitted on my module site, which is used for assessment. If they are not on my exam, they are completed in more than 4 hours. Maybe they will give you a day or 48 hours or something like that. They are not proctored. If it's shell 3, if you have on the announcement that you have assignment 1, 2, 3, and 4, it means you are going to submit under shell 3. This is our first exam this year. So don't go and submit under shell 4. Shell 4 will be used for supplementary in October, November. So when you open the shell, on top there, you will see that there will be an attachment with the questions of that specific portfolio. So the off timetable, it's only file uploads. We don't have quizzes. And the results will be released officially. We will announce the official release date. I think my colleague from exam department will also cover that. So if you go on my admin, because students still have access to go to my admin and view your assignment marks. If you see shell assessment number 3, which is an exam, it's showing that it has been graded, but you can't see the mark. Just know it's like that intentionally, because that is a summative mark. You are not supposed to see the summative mark or the marked portfolio before we release the examination results. When we release the examination result, we combine both the exam mark and the year mark when necessary. That's why you are not supposed to see only the portfolio mark. So there's another assessment, it's continuous assessment. With continuous assessment, it's assessment. Maybe for this model, there is no exam for this model. There is no supplementary, there is no exam, there is no remarking. You find that for that module, you have got 7 assessments that you are supposed to submit. So out of these 7 assessments, they will have different weight. That's why I started with a slide talking about the weights. So pay attention to the weights that are on that, that are indicated on the tutorial letter or on the announcement, because that's how the final mark is going to be calculated. You are not going to write exam. They will look at the weight and they calculate the final mark based on that. If that module has got electives, the system will take the highest mark. So this is an example of a continuous assessment. You find that assignment 1, it only has 5%. Assignment number 5 is 20%, 6 is 30%. So let's focus on the weights, because the other assessment that have got more weights, and then if you fail the module, you must understand that this assessment that have more weights, you never submitted. Thank you very much. This is just the contact details of my colleagues in assignment department that can be contacted if there is any queries with regards to this. Thank you very much.
My question is the 2nd of May cut-off date for semester or annual?
The submissions of assignments started, I think, if you were already registered in February, the systems were open for most assignments for submission. The 2nd of May talks to the exam admission criteria that I just explained. The system is going to look at the criteria. If the criteria says, just trying to mute somebody. Okay, thank you very much. If the criteria for you to get examination admission, you were supposed to submit 1 assignment. Tonight, when we run examination admission, the system is going to look at all the students who are registered and only those who have submitted the first assignment and grant examination admission. So when you register with UNISA, you don't just go and write and ignore the assignment and just go and write examination. You must be granted examination admission based on the criteria that have been selected by your lecturer. Does that answer your question? So examination admission running today, we are granting student permission to go and write examination. You must have a permission to write examination. Thank you.
The reason I'm asking the question, my first assignment is due on the 12th of May, and it's an annual.
It's a year module?
Yes.
Okay, no year modules, we are going to run examination admission on the 15th of September.
Okay.
So the 2nd of May is the examination admission for all the semester modules.
All right, thank you. Then my next question is on my tutorial letter. It doesn't have the assignment submission dates. Only when you go on your My Modules, that's where you'll see when is the submission date. Is that how it's supposed to be, or it should be reflecting also on the tutorial letter?
Okay. I also forgot to indicate Mr. Rasibutsa, Daniel Rasibutsa is also here in the platform, is my manager. He will assist me with some of the questions. Assessment, when the lecturer plans for their module, they plan, like for this year, they did the planning last year. That's when they come up with the due dates and everything, and they upload the tutorial letters. So sometimes, based on different reasons, they don't put the dates because sometimes the date changes. So you must rely on the dates that are on the Moodle system or on the announcement, because the tutorial letter was uploaded maybe last year before maybe they knew the final date. Does that respond your question?
Yes, it
Is
does.
It clear?
And yeah.
Yeah, so normally previously, before we go online, we will have that on the tutorial letter. We will rely on the tutorial letter. Now that we are using the Moodle system, the data on the announcement, and also when you log on to that specific assessment, you will be able to see the date from there. Even also when you go to My Admin, the dates are there. Thank you.
All right. And then my last question on the assignment on my module where I had to submit my assignment, it still says closed, and today is the 2nd of 12. How do I get it to open so that I can submit my assignment?
Okay. You need to communicate with the lecturer. Currently, 99% of the modules, we are using the Moodle system, which is the new system for the submission of assignment. But then there are those other modules that have got a lot of students, like 20,000 students. Those lecturers were allowed to use the old system. So you need to confirm with your lecturer which system are you supposed to use for the submission of the assignment. Because if you say closed, that is the old My UNISA system, and we are no longer using that. So that's why I'm saying let's confirm with the lecturer. If the lecturer says it's supposed to be done on Moodle, then it means you are on the wrong platform. You must go to Moodle. If the lecturer says it's supposed to be on the old system and it's closed, then let's
This
raise
one, I
it with
think, will
assignment
also
department
flat.
and the lecturers.
Okay, I
I think I'll
understand the
come with my
problem.
thingy tomorrow. My
The
batteries.
problem now with the lecturer is that it's only one lecturer, and I've been trying to get hold of that person. I can't. Even the prescribed book, it's no longer on stock. So I find it very strange that I can't get hold of the lecturer. I can't even get the book that is on the module. So it's like I'm stuck. And the tutorial where I'm supposed to submit my assignment, it's also closed.
Yeah, like I said, the closed, the module system, the new module system does not say closed. The fact that you are saying it's closed, it means it's the old site. You can send an email to assign. I'll put it on the chat. assign@unisa.ac.za. We will communicate with the lecturer, or you can send it to me directly. I think we are going to share the slides, my contact number there and my email address. You can send me the email. I will communicate with the lecturer on your behalf.
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Our next speaker is going to be Dr. Welcome Kubeka, diving into the topic of how to answer exam questions. That is your MCQs, your multiple choice questions, and essays.
My name is Welcome Kubeka. I am an accolade facilitator from Egu Learning Center. I've been asked to share about a topic on how to answer exam questions, especially in preparation for multiple choice questions and also the essay type questions. I will try to focus on those. I just want to share some of these few aspects from these different leaders, as you want to call them. I like the one by Winston Churchill, where he said, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I think all of us, we know the purpose of taking exams. There are various reasons. I think one of the reasons they want to test if you have acquired the correct knowledge and skill, and also if you can apply the knowledge in a practical way. We know that we have different types of exam questions. You have your multiple choice questions, you have true and false, you have case studies or scenarios, your essay type, your short answer questions, where you match, and also where you take questions that are based on cartoons, all right? So, but the focus of today is only going to be on multiple choice questions and the essay type questions. There are other types of exam questions. If you receive this the presentation under the notes, I've given some of the simple tips on how to attend to those questions. Yeah, I know, colleagues, I think all of us, we know that multiple choice questions, it's one of the questions which you normally get in some of the modules. And those are the questions which sometimes we think that they are so easy, but it depends on how the examiners have set up those type of questions. While there are various ways of attempting the multiple choice questions, sometimes we refer to them as techniques or approaches or pointers and so on. But I'll always share a few of those from my own experience and also what I've learned from some of my students. Basically, the first one, which I always like the most, is whereby I say the first thing when you read multiple choice questions and try to answer it, you need to start to hide the answer options. And if you hide the answer options, you start to answer the question or statement without looking at the options. Then after that, you check if the answer you have given, it corresponds with the options. The second approach or technique, I always say you read the statement and also look at the options and try to eliminate answers that you think are wrong or illogical or they do not make sense, all right, from the given options. Well, it's a multiple choice question. I've put the third one where I've said you need to go with your guts. I think most of you understand what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to say it's a multiple choice questions. You cannot leave them unanswered. So you need to have a way on how to answer them. But you must be careful. Well, there are some authors who normally says and suggest, I'm not sure if it does work, but they suggest the following in order for you to answer the multiple choice question and applying the third technique. All right. The first one, they say if, for example, there are 3 options. There's a colleague who can see the screen. Maybe you need to leave the platform and come back again. All right. But basically, these authors, they suggest this and they say it works. And they also argue that it's been proven that if there are 3 options given in a statement, you need to choose any one of those options. In other words, if it's A, B, C, any one could be correct. But if there are 4 options given, let's say A, B, C, D, they suggest that you choose B and always you get it right. The last one is that if there are 5 options to the question or to the statement, let's say A, B, C, D, E, they always say you must go with the last one, which is E. Colleagues, I haven't proven that. If it works for you, good luck. But basically, I'm saying to you, the last technique is that it is a multiple choice question. You must answer it. But what's important about the multiple choice question is that you need also to take in consideration the following. All right. There are answers that include absolutes such as always. In other words, you must look at these words or absolutes such as always, never, all, and none. In other words, in those statements, you may find some of those absolutes, and you must take consideration for those absolutes, because these absolutes, they make the statement to be false. All right. And the other one, which I always say to my students, you must look at, you must make note of negative questions. And those are questions that include phrases such as, there are many, colleagues. For example, which of these are not the correct answers? Or all of these except this one and that one. So you must look at some of those negative questions. For example, the other one says, which one of the following is correct or incorrect? So when you read the statement and you look at the option, you must also take note of that negative question into place so that you'll be able to choose the correct answer. I think what's important, again, colleagues, is about answering the essay type questions. Essay type questions, I think, are those questions which you are expected to give more answers on them. And also sometimes they have a large amount of marks given, 10 marks, 50 marks in some of the modules and so on. How do you approach in answering those type of essay type questions? I always say to my students, read the question at least 2 times, all right? The first time, you can just skim the question. The second time, you read the question clearly and carefully with understanding. And at the same time, after you've done that, you need to highlight or make notes of those important points of phrases in that question, all right? And if you have done that, you can also go further and develop an outline. Sometimes you call it a mind map. all right? And in that mind map, you must make sure that you indicate all the main points or ideas and the supporting ideas. How to develop this outline? It also depends on the context, but most of the time you need to have what you call an introduction, where you introduce the content to the reader, and also you have what you call the main ideas, and these main ideas you also need to provide some of the supporting points around it. And lastly, you need to give the closing remarks around the actual essay question to close what we have discussed as a student when you answer that essay type question. All right. But what's important also is that you must make sure that you back all your points with specific facts and relevant examples. All right. So your examples, they must be more relevant. Please, colleagues, when you give examples, don't start by giving an example. Start first by giving the main ideas or point, and also try as much as possible to use your own words. The reason why we encourage you to use your own words, we want you guys to be able not to plagiarize, even though it's an exam. We don't want to also to plagiarize during an exam. So we want you to start to paraphrase and by using your own words. And also you need to try to avoid to repeat what you have indicated. And if, for example, you have a clear mind map outline with all the points and the supporting ideas, the chances of you repeating the information in that essay answering are very slim. And also you need to allocate time to proofread, because what we have realized that most students, especially the essay type question, they don't read before they submit their answer book. So you need also to proofread, so that if you need to elaborate or maybe add some of the points, you will be able to add those points. There are some of the aspects which we need to focus on when we analyze a question, any question. The first thing, like I've said, you read the question at least 2 times so that you get an understanding, all right? And also you underline or highlight the important points. But the next step, you look at the following aspect or components. 1, you need to look at the action verb, all right? Or sometimes you call it the instruction weight. You also need to look and understand the content, and also take care of the context and also the marks allocation. What's the difference between all of this? The action verbs, those are what you are expected to do, all right? It's an instruction weight. For example, discuss, provide, name. You must understand the meaning of some of those action verbs or instruction weights. The content, it's what you are supposed to talk about, all right? The context basically is the framework. For example, if they say, discuss the causes of unemployment in South Africa, the context is South Africa. So you are not going to tell us about any unemployment rate in other countries. You're going to focus on the context of South Africa. The marks allocation, I always say they are very important, colleagues. Why am I saying they are very important? Because in an essay type question, the marks allocation tells you how much are you supposed to write. All right? If, for example, it's a 10 mark question, it means basically we expect you to provide the aspect or the point as it relates to your study material, and also try to explain that point using your own words, and maybe give you an example if you're asked to do that. All right. So after you've done that, you'll be able to see that I've provided enough amount of content as the marks allocation. I'm emphasizing that, colleagues, because most of the time in our assignments, we are able to expand more, because you are also allowed to do that, and also to provide the source, all right, and also paraphrase. But when you go to an exam, if you get almost the same question, sometimes our students are not able to expand more. And one of the aspects I want to share with you, colleagues, so that you don't get being challenged, especially in an exam, when you write some of these type of questions, you need also to make sure that you have a better outline or mind map around each question. All right, you prepare those aspects as you do your revision. Well, those are some of the few action words, all right, or verbs, all right, and their description, all right. So you must understand some of those verbs or action words and also their actual meaning, all right. So you must make sure that you are aware about some of those aspects. I'm not going to go through all of them. Some of them, they're easily being explained, all right. But if they say to you, motivate, what do they mean, or justify? It means you need to give reason as validation for your opinion or statement. You should convince the reader of your views by providing evidence. So at least we are also giving an opportunity to you as students also to put your own voice through some of these action words or verbs. Here are some of the few or additional exam preparation pointers. The first one, I say, in preparation for the exam, learn the material with the exam format in mind. Always, when you enter an exam venue or you take an exam, you must also know the expected exam format. You should not be taken by surprise. All right, because once you have been taken by surprise, you end up having what I call anxiety and stress, and you end up not being able to answer the question as you are expected. And also find out as much information as possible about the exam, whether there will be multiple choice question, and guide your studying accordingly as per the expected exam question type. And review the material frequently to maintain a good understanding of the content. The other one, you need to think and make notes or concept maps about the relationship between themes, ideas, and so on. But the most important one, which I always share with my students, I always say to them, you need to compare or construct and think about what you agree or disagree with and why. If you are given that opportunity, especially in the essay type question, you need also to put your voice. But remember that your voice without also indicating the relevant content is not enough. Otherwise, you'll end up answering the question using what you call a guesswork. So always your voice needs to be supported by the content. The other important aspect, you need to be able to manage your time, colleagues. I think it's almost there. I'm going to the last slide now. You need to manage your time. In some of the modules, you are not given a clear time division on how you need to spend your time in answering questions in an exam. So you must be able to develop that on your own, all right? Basically, you need to divide the time you have by the number of marks on the test. So you need to do that. The first few minutes when they give you an opportunity to read the question, those are some of the things you need to do so that you don't spend more time in other questions and end up not answering the most important questions or the remaining questions. You need also to make sure that you leave enough time to review your answers, all right? And I'll always say, if the exam is a mixed format, do the multiple choice or the true or false answer question first, all right? Start with those ones. I think most of the time, we don't want to start with those essay type questions because they need more content, all right? And also, if you can choose which question to answer, choose quickly, and please don't change your mind. Because sometimes, especially in your multiple choice question, once you change your mind, you end up changing to the wrong option. Start by answering the easiest question, progressing to the most difficult at the end. What's important, I always say, I believe, start with questions which are easy so that you build confidence, all right? Then you go to those which are more difficult. Because if you start with the questions which are more difficult and you are not able to provide enough information that is needed, you end up losing out in the whole exam. So start to build the confidence first, then go to all the difficult aspects. And the last one, generally write in sentences and paragraphs, but switch to point form if you are running out of time. All right. We always want you to elaborate. But if time is not on your side, the point form, they could also add few marks for you. Having said all of this, colleagues, I would like to close by saying we have a lot of pointers, techniques, tips, and so on. But the only best way to take any type of exam question or questions is thorough preparation, also in advance. Thank you.
My question, it's with regards to the essay type of questions. I always get confused as to how many words am I supposed to put. Let's say for a question that is 10 marks or 15 marks, I don't know how long or how many points must I put in. So I'm just asking, is there like a certain number of words that is expected for, let's say, a 10-mark question or like a 15-mark question?
I think it's one of those challenges we normally have, especially in exam, when you're writing exams, all right? We are not sure how much are we supposed to provide or give, all right? But I like the other way. When you write assignments, we expand more, but it's natural. But basically, I always say to my student, you must understand the task weight, all right, or the instruction weight, or the verb. If they say discuss, it means you must elaborate. Where do we start now? They say discuss this aspect for 10 marks. All right. Basically, there's a task weight which we are supposed to discuss. There's a content and there's a mark allocation. So what you normally do, I say to my student, the first thing which you do, put the points or the content from your study material. Right. Then from there, explain or try to write it the way you understand it, all right? And I know that sometimes student thinks that you need to give general knowledge. No, put the way you understand it, but try to borrow some of the phrases from the study material, but add your own words. Remember that in order to make this easier, you are given time. I'm hoping that also if you are doing the online exams, almost the same. You are given time to read the question. Then they'll say, start to write, all right? I'm talking about the old way, by the way. I'm hoping that even the new way online is almost similar. Then take 5 minutes of your time and try to outline everything you have studied, all right? Put those points. And if you have put those points, when you are going to answer the question, then you are going to take the main point, then you explain it, expand a little bit, all right? Most of the time, I always say to my students, for 1 point, give at least 1 or 2 lines and add an example, all right? But don't start by giving an example, especially if they didn't ask you an example, because you end up writing, for example, an example, all right? Start by elaborating and provide an example. 1 line or 2 lines, it's enough, and provide a practical example. I'm talking about almost 3 lines. So it can give you almost 10 marks. Remember that the first point, being able to give that point the way it appears in the content, we can give you a mark around that and try to gamble with what you have, the way you've tried to explain that point using your own words and taking some of the few words from the content itself. I think that's how far I can go. I'm hoping that maybe I've tried a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, that's a mouthful. Thank you very much. That was very helpful.
As we continue with our program, the next topic we are going to be talking about now is the proctoring tools. Now, I find this one quite fascinating myself, I'll be honest. Because I was quite skeptical initially. I remember during COVID, when we started taking our exams at home, you know, when you write your exam without the physical invigilators and people actually watching exactly what you're doing, you know, it's not normal. You know, it's really not normal, because you think of things like your simple plagiarism, copying, and you know, cheating and etc. All the bad stuff. However, because of technology, we now have these proctoring tools, your invigilation apps that make sure that you know what the standards of the university still are kept, are maintained. You know, the highest of level when it comes to exam taking. You know, just to make sure that we have an eye. Obviously, we'd like to trust you as a student, you know, but temptations sometimes get the better of people. So we do have these eyes that actually watch you as you take your assessments. You know, we have UCC, Upilisi Maneli, who will be telling us more about these proctoring tools, the reason why we have them, and how they operate, etc., etc.
As they've already said, I'll be presenting on the proctoring tools that the universities offer. In the university, we have got three major proctoring tools that we use. The main one being the Invigilator app, the Iris, which is mainly used by the College of Engineering and Sciences, and recently also added to it was the College of Accounting and Sciences. And then we also have the Moodle proctoring. With these three different proctoring systems, the Invigilator app is mainly used for the take-home exam, which is the written exam, where you write your essays, you answer your questions on the page. You have to write your questions and not the selection. And also with the Iris, it includes both the take-home exam and the MCQ, which is the multiple choice question. Proctoring tools is a mixture of both the take-home and the multiple choice question that we use. Okay, before we go any further, I just want to inform you that with these three proctoring tools that we are using, all the students are supposed, or they are, to use these proctoring tools, except the only two categories which are not included for the using of the proctoring tools. Those categories are the students who are incarcerated, meaning the student in prison, and also the student who are differently abled. They are not required to use the proctoring tools. And those students in those two categories, they need to make sure that they have applied in time for the exemption for the proctoring tools. Because if they do not apply for these exemptions, then they will be required to use the proctoring tools, and they cannot come on the day of exam to claim that they are differently abled or they're incarcerated, therefore they cannot use the app, unless of course it's the student who was recently incarcerated. That one, it's a different case altogether. But if you know that you are a student who is incarcerated or a student who is differently able, please make sure that you forward your request, and you will be required to send the supporting documents with this to make sure that your application is authentic. All right. Going back to the proctoring tool now, with the Invigilator app, this is the app that actually uses. Okay, let me start with the Moodle. As I've already said, that the Moodle is a multiple choice question. You can use the Moodle proctoring tool on both the smartphone and the laptop. And you need to make sure that whatever system that you are using, be it a smartphone or a laptop, it is camera enabled, because throughout your exam you will be required to have your camera on so that it invigilates you. So it will be taking the pictures of you as you are writing to make sure that your exam is it's to make sure that you are being invigilated throughout your exam. And then we also have the Iris Invigilator, Iris app that requires a student to be invigilated via a recording, a live video recording throughout the exam as the student is writing. So there are requirements that the student have been informed about this at the beginning of their registration. So we don't have any student coming now and claiming that they don't have a laptop, because this app can only be used on the computer or a laptop. So the students are required to have these tools, and the university does not provide them, because when it's time for exam, then we'll be having students come to claim that they don't have money for the laptop, where they're going to be having it. But if you know you have been registered on the College of Engineering and Sciences, then you know that this was a requirement for you. All right, and lastly, we have an Invigilator app, which is the application that uses it uses a cell phone. So you download it just like we download our TikTok apps, just like we download our WhatsApp app. Invigilator app is downloaded the same way, and on this app you need to make sure that when you are registering for it after downloading the app, that you put your My Life account number. The reason we use the My Life, we know the Poppy X, that it requires us not to tap into your personal space. So the My Life account, it's the one that you have been provided by the university, so that we have a communication that is flowing between us and yourself without without tapping into your personal space. So even when you register for this app, we require that you use the My Life account to register for the app, and then you can select your own password. It's easier if you use the same password that you use on my UNISA, to make sure that you don't forget the password. Okay, and this app can be downloaded on both Google App, Apple iStore, and Huawei Gallery. Okay, the functionality of use on the Invigilator app, as I've already alluded, that it uses the cell phone. It's less invasive. It doesn't require students to have lots of data, because we only use the data when we are scanning the QR code, and also at the end when we upload the Invigilator app. So it doesn't really take too much of your data when we are using the Invigilator app. Okay, now I'm going to be playing a video, a small video training, to show you how to upload your Invigilator app. Please watch on the screen.
Welcome to the Invigilator app. This app helps you complete non-venue based assessments safely and securely without being invasive or taking up too much of your time. All you need is a charged smartphone with a camera and a small amount of data or a Wi-Fi connection. The Invigilator app helps maintain academic integrity during non-venue based assessments. How does it do this? While you are writing your exam, the Invigilator app takes random audio recordings, and if speech is detected, the recording is flagged for your lecturer to review. There will also be selfie and photo requests used to verify your identity and prevent unethical behavior. Your lecturer sets up the amount of photos the app will ask for and the audio recordings it will capture. Let's show you step by step what that looks like. 1. Begin by making sure your phone's operating system is up to date, and then start downloading the app on the Google Play Store, Apple App Store, or Huawei App Gallery. 2. Register as a student by signing up with your details. You will need to use your institutional email address, the one with your student number, and not your personal email address. A verification code or one-time PIN will be sent to your email address to complete the registration. 3. Remember to save and keep your password safe. We've built in a password reset function just in case though. 4. When you log in for the first time, the app will calibrate by requesting specific actions. This is to ensure your phone is compatible. 5. permission will be requested to access your camera and microphone. You will need to grant the app access in order for you to complete your assessment. 6. Set up your master selfie by clicking the camera icon when prompted to do so. Your face should be evenly lit and visible. We recommend you remove your glasses and any face coverings, such as a mask. This will be the photo that the facial recognition will run selfies against and flag if there is an unfamiliar selfie taken during an exam. Now you're all set to start an assessment. 7. You will need internet connection at the beginning and at the end of your assessment. 8. When commencing an exam, log into the app and the dashboard will load. First, you will need to scan the QR code or enter the exam code. This is the set of digits just below the QR code block. The QR code will be found either on your exam or shared by your lecturer before the assessment. 9. Once the code is scanned, the timer and invigilation will begin. You'll see the photo dock and the time remaining in the bottom right corner. 10. No one likes disruptions. Your phone can be on silent, but check that your media volume is turned up to hear the app notifications. 11. You can now place your cell phone next to you and begin your exam. 12. If you only have one device, you can press the Access LMS button to access your University Learning Management System through our in-app browser. This will allow you to write your assessment on your phone while still being invigilated by the app. 13. The app will notify you at random intervals for predetermined requests that your lecturer has set up. 14. Pop-up requests will ask for specific photos. In this example, it's a photo of your exam paper. 15. Once you've taken the photo, it will load into the photo box. 16. Now it's asking for a selfie. If your face is not visible, an error message will appear. 17. Action prompts have set time limits and will be flagged for your lecturer to review if not completed within that time. 18. If you are writing an online assessment on your LMS, which is your learning management system, you might be required to enter a verification code as an answer to one of the questions. Should you receive this request, there will be a button on the app saying Show Exam Code to enter. Only select this once you are on the question requesting this code. 19. If your exam is handwritten, you may be prompted to take photos of all the pages in your exam script at the end of your assessment to ensure that there is no additional writing after the allocated time is over. 20. What happens if you finish early? If your lecturer chose to allow you to end the assessment early, you can click on the I am finished button. 21. You are not allowed to exit the app at any time during the invigilation for any reason other than to WhatsApp the invigilator help desk. Any out-of-app time will be available for your lecturer to review. 22. When the timer runs out, it will load the files onto the cloud. This is when you'll need data or a Wi-Fi connection. 23. This pop-up means the invigilator app has successfully uploaded all the information. You can double-check if everything was uploaded by selecting the top left button to view your uploads. Now you're all done. Your lecturer will review the photos and recordings the app sends through. Don't worry about your personal or test data. It's completely safe and secure. Your information is only used for assessment purposes and then will be deleted later. So, how can you prepare for an assessment using the Invigilator app? Download the app ahead of time to be sure it's compatible with your phone. Before each assessment, check that your app is updated. Refer to the student user guide that you received from your lecturer to locate a demo QR code for you to practice using the app. Do this well in advance to ensure you're familiar with the process. Charge your phone fully before the assessment to ensure that you have sufficient battery. You'll need an internet connection for the following. 1. Registering for the first time. 2. logging in. 3. Scanning the QR code or access code to enter the exam. 4. Uploading your invigilator data at the end of the exam. Visit our website for more resources, guidance, and frequently asked questions, or contact our WhatsApp help desk for technical support. Now you're ready to use the Invigilator app. All the best with your upcoming assessment.
Okay, thank you, colleagues. And then now we get, okay, all this has now been covered. What I'm only going to be focusing on now is at the end of, after the Invigilator app has done all the prompts that you are required to take. At the end, it will be requiring you to upload your script on the Invigilator app. I need to clarify this because we always get a lot of confusion with the student and also the staff member when it comes to the uploading of the app. What we upload on the Invigilator app are the prompts that are ensuring that you are being invigilated, and whatever that you are doing during the exam time, it's authenticated. So what is going to be asking you is you to upload the pictures of the exam scripts that you are writing during your exam. And at the end, you upload all those results, the selfies and the recordings that the app would have taken while you are writing your exam. All those results are going to be captured and sent there. And we allow the student to finalize this application 48 hours after the exam was written. However, when we say 48 hours after the exam was written, it does not mean the student comes back and can make changes to the Invigilator app on what was uploaded. This simply means that when you were taking all the results, it might be due to the load shedding that the results didn't go, or because of the network problem that when we're trying to upload the results at the end, then it didn't go through. Then you can always come back to the app and click on where it says pending uploads to check if you don't have any uploading that is pending. And if you still have anything that is pending, then you are going to click on that module that is still pending and finalize it within 48 hours. However, you cannot make any changes. And then the primary platform for the upload, it's on my exam platform. My exam platform, that is where you would have gotten your question paper from. And at the end of your exam, you go back there to upload your exam script. And whatever that you have uploaded on my exam, that is what will be considered by the university. The students have a tendency sometimes, because they want to cheat time, they will upload the question paper, thinking that they will still come back and make changes on their on their uploads. But if you have uploaded your question paper, or if you have uploaded 2 pages of your exam script on my exam, and you think you'll come back later to change it, unfortunately, whatever that would have been uploaded by the time that the exam is ending, that's what will be considered by the university. And if you upload the completed one on the Invigilator app, that one unfortunately will not be regarded if you already have a submission that was on my exam platform. I hope that is clear. Okay, and also what we would like to emphasize to the student is the scan time of the QR code. We often get a lot of queries when it comes to this. The student are given 15 minutes before the exam start. For example, if the student is going to be writing their exam at 8 o'clock and next week Monday, the exam will be open, the QR code will be open 7:45 to allow the student 15 minutes to scan the QR code before the exam commences. And after the exam has commenced at 8, the student will still have an extra 30 minutes to scan the QR code. In case the student have difficulties with accessing the question paper or any other technical issues the student might be experiencing, they are given in total 45 minutes to scan the QR code. Failure to do so, you will be deemed to have transgressed the university's rule, and therefore your results will be withheld, and you'll be seen as one who was not invigilated. Therefore, your results we are not going to be considered. Even if you have obtained 99% on your exam, it will not be released to you. I hope you are clear on that one. Okay. Okay, these were already explained. And then the QR code, we are going to get it from your lecturers 24 hours before the exam date, or others, they might also still put it on the exam question paper and not send it to you separately. That depends on the lecturer. However, you still get that 45 minutes to scan your QR code on your question paper. Okay, the other stuff will be covered by Sis Mary when I've stepped down. Okay, the other issue that is always raised, okay, before I go to that one, when you are writing the exam, we plead with the student to please make sure you are in a quiet environment when you are writing your exam. Avoid the talks. We understand some of the students, they don't have the devices, therefore they will go to the internet cafe. We understand that it's a public space. However, try to ask them to keep the noise to a minimum level. But if you are writing at home, no music in your background, no sound, all those things, we are going to be flagging it. So we are bringing it to your attention now. And should you experience technical issues while writing your exam, you are urged to the first place of contact. You contact the WhatsApp. And you WhatsApp them their number. Please save it on your phone prior to your exam. It's 073-505-8273. This is the WhatsApp number for any technical issues related to the Invigilator app. However, we are also available on real time to assist the student, and our number is 011-471-2433, 011-471-2433, and this is our help desk to assist with any proctoring related issues. It is not the call center number. However, it's all the proctoring issues help desk number. So if you have this one, we can assist you in real time. So whilst you have already sent the screenshot of your technical issue to the technical team, whilst you're waiting for them to reply to you, you can also call us on this number so that we can be able to assist you. The reason why we ask the student to send the technical issues on the WhatsApp so that we can log that information in to say that the student experienced technical issues. I urge you to not use the contact center for technical issues related to proctoring tools. Use these tool numbers provided so that you have a number, you have a reference number to say that you did contact us to say you're having a problem. I cannot urge this enough, because then this information, we put it there. And if you had any problems, we can then later say that we can release the students' results because they have a problem and we have a proof that they contacted us within the scan time. If you going to be contacting us after 8:30, for example, meaning after the QR scan time is closed, unfortunately, we are not going to be exempted. You'll just be deemed as one who did not utilize the Invigilator app. Okay, I've already spoken on the 48 hours. Okay. I also want to talk about the different error messages that we come across when we do the Invigilator app.
Welcome to the Invigilator app. Are you wondering what happens if you don't have access to the recommended two devices?
Okay, I just want to speak to the different error messages that we come across when we're dealing with the Invigilator app and how you can best work it. Okay, if you get this error message to say the email has not been confirmed by your university, it either means, as Ms. Mashude has already alluded, that the admission will only run tonight, meaning the admission will only be available tomorrow. So if after tomorrow you have downloaded the app and you've put your information and you still get this number that you still get this error message to say that your email has not been confirmed. Give it an overnight and see if by Thursday you're still getting this error. If you are still getting this error, please contact us on that number that I've already provided for you, those two numbers that I've given to you. And then the other error message that it's actually not an error message. This just means that the student has scanned the QR code and is now ready to start the exam. If you get this screen cover, and then if you've getting this error message to say that there was an issue starting the exam, the issue is you have already scanned this code and started this exam. Please try again later. It might mean that your battery is on 30% or less, and it will require you to have your battery charged on. Hence, we always encourage the student to have your phone fully charged before you start your exam. However, we are aware some of the phones have got problems. It loses the battery power very quickly. Therefore, have your phone plugged in the whole time. Otherwise, you're going to have this message that will stop you from continuing with your exam. And then this is just the time that will will be remaining after you've scanned the QR code, as it was already explained there on the video. And then when you get this one that your password is incorrect, you might need to reset your password. Hence, I said it's easier if you're using the same password as the one you're using on My Life, so that you avoid this. And then when you get the error message that says there was an issue starting the exam, the issue is that the exam can only start between the date and the time that is written there. That means you have now scanned your QR code outside of the scan time, meaning you were late to scan the QR code. Hence, you'll be getting this error message. And then when you are uploading your document and you get this PDF viewer error message, it means that the viewer that you are using it's not compatible with your phone. You will either need to upgrade to a new version. And then when you get this page, this is the page I was referring to when you have finished uploading your results. If the page, there is no reference number here, but rather it's saying that processing, that means it did not go through. You will need to come back to it. If you are writing in the morning, you can come back to your page in the afternoon to try and upload it. And if it's still giving you a problem, you can do this within 2 days, which is 48 hours, to make sure that you finalize your submission. We also send the reminders to students on their My Life account to say that your upload results are still pending. Please finalize them, because if you have done everything, you have scanned the QR code and you are being invigilated, however, you did not finalize your upload, your results are going to be withheld also. So unless you finish all the process that you are supposed to do with proctoring, your results will be pending. Okay, this is the message that you will get to say that you were writing this particular exam and unfortunately you did not finalize your uploading. Please do so. This is the message that you will be receiving for your exam. Okay, I know the most thing that the student wants to hear, we are living in the load shedding time. So what do we do when we are having load shedding and we are supposed to write the exam? With all the adjustments that we have made, we've bought the inventors, we've bought the rechargeable lights and all the other things to make sure that we making alternative arrangements to the load shedding that we are living in. Same thing with your exam. When you know that you're going to be writing the exam the following day, check your schedule, check the stages which we are at, and you make sure you make it alternative arrangement, either moves to the areas where they're not going to be uploading, to be load shedding, Whatever the case be, make sure, because it's your own responsibilities as a student. If you're a first-time student, you'll be writing the exam for the first time. The university can grant you an extra exam period to write the following semester, the exam. However, if you fail on that second semester, you'll not be given another period to write the exam. So it's better for you to make the alternative arrangement to still go and write, so that if you fell short with your exam, you were not able to get the 50% mark to pass, you'll still have an opportunity to rewrite your exam. However, if you have used that opportunity because of load shedding, you might not get it the next time. I hope I am clear on that. Please read the exam rules that they have been sent to you as a student, and I thank you so much.
My name is Charlotte Mokwena. I'm within the Directorate, Student Assessment Administration, under Examination Division. I'm going to be taking you through the examination process, as Ms. Muloisan has indicated. It's a very short presentation, but I hope there's a lot to take out from the presentation. The Directorate, Student Assessment Administration, it comprises of 3 divisions. Assignment, which Ms. Chikakiza has already spoken about, and then I'm going to be talking mostly on the examination division, and then invigilation that Ms. Maneli has actually spoken about. Basically, in terms of the examination, there are 3 phases that takes place. So that's the preparation phase. Basically, the pre-examination phase is where everything takes place leading to the actual examination. That means that your examination admission, you receiving the timetable, preparing for your invigilator apps, and so forth. So that's the pre-examination phase. And then from then on, when you start commence with your actual examination, that's when we regard it as the examination phase, when you are sitting and basically writing your main exams. And then further to that, after you have completed writing your examinations, there's still other processes that will take place, which are your post-examination processes, which is the post-examination phase. That includes purchasing of examination scripts, remarking, and so forth. I'm going to go into that later on. All right, as you're all aware, in 2020, when the world, was hit hard by COVID, the university had to make alternative arrangements for exams to continue and for tuition to continue. And ever since 2020, the University of South Africa has conducted its examinations online. And I'm sure everyone on this platform is very much aware that we're no longer dealing with the venue-based examinations for all our students. And in addition to that, previously we catered for students with special needs who required special arrangements where we had venues. Unfortunately, due to the nature of our exams at the moment, we do not have venues anymore. However, those students with special needs, we still do have arrangements in place for them to write the online exams. And I think it's very important I point this out. When you register, on the registration form, you will be asked if you have any special needs, or if you have, as previously, the way we used to call it is students with disabilities. You used to indicate that when you register. However, when you indicate that at registration, it does not automatically give you any concession or any special arrangements for your exams. What I'm trying to say is that if you have any special needs, you need to apply through examinations for that concession, meaning that if you require, for example, any additional time to write your exams due to your special needs, you still need to do that through examination, and you need to submit a medical certificate specifying the nature of your disability. And as you can see on the screen there, you can email that request through to examdisabled unisa.ac.za. This is very important because we have a number of students who come through at the last minute to say that due to this condition, I cannot write the exam within the time that has been allocated to me by the university. However, if you do not go through the process of application by the relevant closing date that you can get if you email the exam disabled email address, unfortunately, the university cannot make any special examination arrangements for you. So I'm asking if you have any special needs and you require any special examination arrangements, please send an email to Exam Disabled so that we can be able to assist you. All right, when we go into the exam, the downloading of the question paper, I'm sure most of you here are quite aware that you are given some time, and also as Ms. Maneli has indicated, you are granted 15 minutes before the start of the exam to download the examination question paper. I'm not going to go into the details as Ms. Maneli has alluded as to, the scanning of the QR code and so forth. But then just to mention, you've got that 15 minutes before the start of the exam to download the question paper. After you have completed your exam, you are given 30 minutes to upload. The 30 minutes you are granted, it's not for you to continue writing the exams. It's for you, given all the technical challenges that you might have, the 30 minutes that you have, it's only for uploading your answer script after you have written your exam. And then also, please make sure that when you're writing your exams, please make sure that you sign the honor pledge, which is very important. It's a declaration to say that it's your own work that you'll be submitting and so forth. And I'm sure you're all aware, there has been several communications that have been going out. The university has zero tolerance of any dishonesty or cheating. And my colleague, Ms. Mazibuko, will talk to that when she comes to disciplinary matters at a later stage. And then just to make you aware as well, the university does not allow any email submissions. I know some of us, when we're panicking, when we're writing the exams, we will try to send an email to the lecturer with the actual answer script. Unfortunately, to protect the integrity of our examinations, no email submissions will be accepted under any conditions, regardless of what the situation is. If you're unable to submit on my exams, unfortunately, you cannot email the script to the lecturer or to any other person for that matter. All right, there are 3 different types of proctoring, Iris, Invigilator app, and the Moodle platform. I'm not going to go much into that as Ms. Maneli has spoken about the types of proctoring that the university is currently using on the online examinations. And once you have written your exams, the university, as and when the marks have been signed off by the relevant college deans, the university will start releasing the results on a staggered basis up until the official release date, which will be communicated to all students. However, the university will regard results that have been released on the final release date to be correct and complete if you do not inquire with us within a period of 3 months from the date of release of examination results. This information is also included under your UNISA rules for students to say that from the date in which we release your results, you have 3 months to inquire your results. Failure for you not to inquire, we will regard your results as correct, and unfortunately, after that, we won't be in a position to assist you further. All right. There might be several reasons. There might be several reasons why you are unable to write your examinations. And university has allowed students to apply for AgroTech exams. And information regarding AgroTech exams, it's also included in your My Registration UNISA brochure. But then I just want to talk, shortly on how the AgroTech currently works, because things have changed. Most of you might have realized that, if you write your exam and it was your first exam opportunity for undergraduate students, not for postgraduate, for undergraduate students, you can write your first exam, your first attempt, and then fail automatically. If the module qualifies for a supplementary, the university will grant you another examination, a second attempt, meaning that if you're an undergraduate student and your module offers a supplementary exam, you will automatically be granted another examination opportunity. Now, during your second opportunity, should it happen that you are unable to write that particular exam, unfortunately, the university will consider your second exam opportunity as your final opportunity granted to you by the university, meaning that we will not provide you with a third exam opportunity, right? This also applies for students who were absent for their first exam, undergraduate students as well. So those students, if you are absent in the first attempt and that module qualifies for a supplementary exam, automatically you will be granted a supplementary exam. And just a side note, continuous assessment modules, a number of portfolio modules, they do not qualify for supplementaries, meaning that even though you are undergraduate students, they do not qualify for that second opportunity. So please go through your tutorial letters. If in your tutorial letters it indicates that the module has no supplementary, then it means that your modules do not qualify for this additional attempt that will be granted to you by the university. And then for students who are still required to apply for an AgroTech, for example, your postgraduate students, you need to go into My UNISA and then go into My Admin. And then on the assessment admin tool, select examination timetable. And then from there, you go to view timetable and then apply for AgroTech exam and then enter the details required. So just to summarize quickly, AgroTech would now basically apply for postgraduate students. And then for undergraduate students, you need not apply for AgroTech students, for AgroTech, of your modules. If your module qualifies for a supplementary, the university will automatically grant you 2 examination attempts. All right, now we're moving on to the post-exam processes. With the post-exam processes, we have remarks. With remarks, it's whereby you fall within the final mark range of 35 to 47 or 68 to 74. And you feel that you are not fully satisfied with your mark and you would like somebody to remark your script. The university does make provision for that. And if you go onto My UNISA under examination, then remarking, it will give you all the details. Just to make you aware, when you apply for remark, whilst you're still waiting and at the same time you have been granted a supplementary by the university, please continue to prepare for the supplementary exam until the remark results are finalized. Do not wait for the remark results and then come later on to say that you did not write the supplementary as you were waiting for supplementary results. The university will not consider that as reason enough for you to not have written your examination, your supplementary examination. So please, if you have a supplementary exam, continue with the supplementary examination. And then once the remark results are available, they will be made available to you. And if you have, for example, not passed or you don't have a better mark in terms of your remark application, then you still have those results for the supplementary exams. Purchasing of scripts. You can apply to purchase a copy of your marked answer file. And the marked answer file, it does not include memorandum, meaning that the answers to the actual exams, that is not available to students. This information is also included in your UNISA rules for students. So you can purchase a copy of your marked answer file, and we will make it available to you, and that should take more or less any time from 10 working days upwards for us to avail that copy to you. So it's a very simple process, and that excludes your multiple choice answers that we will not make available to you. And then another process that we deal with post-exam as examination, it's the FI concession. Final year students who don't have more than 24 credits outstanding to complete a qualification may qualify for assistance and potentially an alternative assessment opportunity, which is an FI concession. And just to reiterate, students cannot apply for FI concession. The university grants FI concessions based on certain requirements made by the students. And once we have identified those students who qualify, they will receive communication in terms of, the FI concession, and further information will follow also from their lecturers in terms of how the assessment will take place and so forth. So in a nutshell, students cannot apply for FI concession. We've got systems in place to identify and to check students that qualify for FI concessions. And those are the email addresses, very important, that you need to use when communicating with us in terms of exam and post-exam processes. Once again, for students with special needs, to apply for those special exam arrangements, please use examdisabled@unisa.ac.za. And for any remark inquiries, you can send an email to remark@unisa.ac.za. For purchasing a copy of your marked assessment file, you can send it to purchasescript@unisa.ac.za. And for any other general exam inquiries, you can send an email to exams@unisa.ac.za. Just in conclusion, we would like to wish our students well on their upcoming examinations. We know it's a very difficult one, but we wish you all the best. And from my side, Program Director, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
I am Ms. Mazibugo. I'll be presenting for student disciplinary unit. Our department actually focuses on the protecting the integrity of the university. What I'll be touching on is actually the general principles and rules, the general examples of misconduct, policies and procedures, challenges with online examination, prevention, and raising awareness. And then I'll be closing. So what our department concentrates on is that we uphold the name and reputation of the university. We maintain order, yes, and safety and security within the university. We also ensure that the integrity of the academic processes of the university is followed, and we assure the quality of the assessment the processes at the university. And now, what mostly is there any misconduct by students that the student might contravene? Okay, yeah, is that well,
usually when we found that you've committed plagiarism or any misconduct of any form, then you will come to our offices. And believe me, students, you do not want to be in our offices. You just must adhere to everything that has been said by our previous speakers, because when you come to our offices, that is the end. You can be suspended from the university. Misconduct such as harassment, sexual harassment, I think those two are self-explanatory. Plagiarism, I think they have touched on how to approach your exams and everything. So should you not adhere to that, you will be sent to our offices, and that is not a place that you want to be. Now, misrepresentation of information, examination irregularities, should your lecturers pick up that there was some irregularities, and ghostwriting. We know that we are all stressed with exams, and sometimes we are pressurized because of circumstances. Now, we students often opt for ghostwriters or opt for external service providers, of which the university goes against. So please, guys, shy away from any of such. And fraud, obviously, we sometimes we think that we're smart to overlook or take chances with the university. Please just shy away from any of these misconducts, because our offices will suspend you from the university even for 5 years without taking any part with academic activities. Our process and procedure, what happens usually, should the misconduct be reported to our office, we often have an ad hoc committee wherein there is a a chairperson, and there are more people in a committee, wherein it will be your lecturer to come present on the evidence, and then you'll get a chance to state your side of the story as to what happened. Now, after that, the committee will sit and deliberate as to which side actually presented better, and which evidence is it that the lecturer they have against you. And then the committee does make a decision that you will be suspended for 1, 2, or even 5 years from the university. Now, the challenges with online, as Ms. Charlotte touched on with the COVID and everything, that now we were forced to use the online services. And I think Ms. Maneli as well presented on the Invigilator app as a proctoring tool. There's Invigilator app, there's Iris. Other than those Invigilator app, the lecturers might detect plagiarism manually as they mark. Remember, now they have markers. So please, guys, shy away from working in groups, shy away from external services or any of those things. Now, in closing, evidence. Our office works with evidence. Now, your lecturers provide evidence to our office. Hence, we send to you when we invite you to attend the hearing. Now, the evidence that we work on usually, because now this is an investigation, the lecturers don't just send you to our office. They investigate on the matter, and they want to make sure that when they send you, the evidence is actually that watertight. They don't just send you because of whatnot. So they send you to our office knowing very well that the evidence they have is actually substantial to you being suspended to the university. So yeah. The prevention is that UNISA has adopted a zero tolerance towards plagiarism. We are working on creating awareness with the SRC members. Yes. So your SRC will communicate with you as to, well, what to do, what plagiarism is. Remember, now there's different types of plagiarism other than failing to acknowledge the sources. So the SRC, we are working with hand in hand with the SRC so that they can actually make you guys aware of what plagiarism is. And we do note that lecturers often have a synopsis on tutorial letters on plagiarism as to what not to do and what to share away. So please adhere to any of those warnings, because if you do not adhere to them, and if you think you're clever, you can bypass what the procedures of the university, you will not, because you will get caught and we will suspend you from the university. So I think that is it for me, sir. Thank you.
From my angle, I'm going to focus on two things. And one of them is when you are scanning your examination paper, which you have handwritten. I know it's not everyone who is going to do a handwritten examination, but we always want to make room for every student, those who use technology to benefit them, and for those students who may have challenges in using technology from start to finish in terms of typing. So what we want the students to do up front, those of you who are going to write your examination paper by hand, the request is very simple, that you please, on your smartphones, that you have download any of the scanner apps. So some of you are using very advanced phones, which are called iPhones, and you would usually find your apps through the App Store. I have put an image on in case you are not sure what it will look like. And for many of the students who are using Android phones, you will be downloading from Google Play. The third one now is the Hawaii Gallery for the students who are using a Hawaii cell phone. So if you go onto either of the three, any one of the three, and you search for a scanner app, it will give you a lot of options. That's why you see on the image I have in front of all of us, there are many options coming up. You will choose what you think you can be comfortable with, but my advice is mostly the mobile scanner app. And I'm not saying it's the best of every other one that's there. If you already have got a scanner app installed on your phone, you are safe, because then you should be able to use it during the course of your examination. So obviously you would have access to your question paper through the My Exams platform. I think it was mentioned by another speaker as well, there where you will get the questions, and if you then have your exam pad to write down your answers, you would have written them all down. Once you have written everything down and ready to scan, you would have now to open your scanner app, like the picture I'm showing you there on. So at the bottom of it is a page where somebody has written by hand and now is ready to scan the paper so that they can submit it. Remember earlier on they spoke about the exam proctoring tool. Please don't confuse the scanner app that we are talking about now with the proctoring tool. The proctoring tool serves its own purpose. It is really to ensure that you have been the one who wrote the exam and you know that everything is in place. But what the scanner app does, it saves you the time if you were not having, or you categorize yourself as a student who cannot type fast. Then you would have written by pen on ink, and now you will scan and it becomes a file on your phone that you will basically give a name according to the module code and so forth, so that you can now go to submit it onto the My Exams platform. So what should appear on your phone once you have finished scanning the paper, you should see this now. So you now have a PDF, because what the scanner app does, it does convert the file for you to PDF already. So if it was 3, 4, or 5 pages, you must have them in the order of that, and there will be 5 pages. So you're not going to should not have 5 separate files, because if it's 5 separate files and you are submitting as the exam, you basically will only be submitting a file, and every time you put the next one, you're replacing what you have already submitted. So please make sure that you ask for the scanner app to give you an option to scan multiple pages, that it's like I say, if it was 5 pages, you scan 1, and then 2, 3. It must show you that you are now having page 1 of 4, 2 of 5, and so forth, until you have all 5 pages as one file. You then will submit it to the My Exams platform, which I'm going to show you the link to shortly if you hadn't received it yet. And for the students who have typed the examination, yours is quite easy. All you do is, because it will be a Word document, you simply have to convert the document to PDF before you submit it. So in the next image that I'm going to bring up, it will give you an indication of the steps you're going to follow. So you will firstly have opened the Word document where the examination has been typed onto. You will go to File on your Word document, and when you go to click on Save As, you'll have a window that will appear like what I have in front of me. And from this window, you first select the location of where the file will be stored. Obviously, if it's on a memory stick, that's the location. You need to choose that. And then you go to almost the end, but it's at the left side of this window. It's now name, your module code, and maybe examination, whatever your format is there. At Save As Type, it will by default be a Word document. But if you click where it says Word document, you get this long list that you see now there. And I have highlighted in blue there, the PDF. So all you'll do is to choose PDF, and then you will hit the Save button. What it does, it converts your Word file to a PDF document. You are now ready to submit your examination through the My Exams platform, which is the link up there. So you will go to myexams.unisa.ac.za. When you hit the enter button through the Google Chrome, it'll give you a window that looks like this. So here you are given the different dates. So it depends when your exam is. We have some example of an exam that is for today. If you click on it, it may ask you to log in. So when you log in, it is your student number and your MyUnisa password. You will have an interface very similar to the MyUnisa that you are working on now, and you are looking for your exam to submit. Then you will do your submission there of the PDF file that we have converted through your handwriting, or the one that we've converted through the Word document, which you have completed. I also want to reiterate and stress this point, and I cannot stress it much because it was already said by the lady who did the exam proctoring tools, that it is of importance for you to remember that you have to submit your examination script once you have finished, after the whole proctoring process has been completed, because she has told us very clearly what is submitted on the proctoring tool is not going to be considered for marking, but it is to check all the kind of cheating and so forth that may have taken place during the duration of your examination. But the examination script must still be submitted through this platform and within the given time of the examination.
I just need to confirm with this proctoring tools. There are 3 that were mentioned earlier on, and now there is the 4th one, which is the scanner app, which is being utilized. And when I look at it, it is more similar to the PDF scanner app. So I just want to confirm the difference in using this PDF scanner app and the scanner app that Mr. Gaba have just indicated. And also just to clarify in terms of this proctoring tools, how would one know which tool to be used for which exam purposes? Thank you.
Godfrey, the scanner app I have made mention to just now is not a 4th proctoring tool. It is only a tool that you use when you have written your examination by hand. Remember, when I started, I said some students are they prefer not to type the examination because they presume that they are slow. They might not be able to complete the typing work within the 2 hours given. Because many of us are used to writing. When we're in school, you're probably writing on paper. So you then take it that you are faster when you write your examination on a notebook. And now only when you have completed that, you want, because you may not have a printer that has a built-in scanner at home. If you have, then it's easy. You will take that what you have typed, scan it through to the printer, and submit that as your examination paper through My Exams, because that must be marked at the end of the day. And even if you were using the proctoring tool, while you were writing down, whatever the instruction could be that is given to you, when you are writing on paper, you still follow that through the proctoring tool. So no, we don't have 4 proctoring tools, but 3. And how you will know which proctoring tool you are using, I think there is usually a link that is shared with students beforehand where you can type in your module codes, and that tells you what is your proctoring tool. But please do not confuse these two. But if you are a student who types your assignment, then it means you are not going to need to use the scanner app, because all you'll do on your computer, like I showed, is to go and convert that Word document to PDF so that you can submit it, that it gets marked by the lecturer. The proctoring tool is just to check that you were the person who wrote the exam, that you have, like it was explained earlier on.
Just a bit clear, because when I look at the Invigilator proctoring tool, it is providing the similar service as the scanner. But I think I'm a bit cleared somehow. So I think I will use the other alternative method of writing my exams. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Godfrey. Now we're going to one of our own as the counseling unit. We have Mr. Fatuana Makahani, who's our student counselor from Ekurhuleni. He'll be dealing with the matter of preparing for exams.
I'll be dealing with the exam preparation workshop in counseling specifics, because they've already spoken about how to answer your exam questions, how to do this, Proctoring, all those things that they've told you is very stressful to me, because that's why Godfrey was asking, because he think they are adding now number 4. You see, although they were all 3, in the Bible, everything which has happened, which are very serious, they're done in number 3. But now they were adding number 4, the 4th person in the fire was God. But don't worry, Godfrey. Maybe this 4th one was to save you. All right. Having said that, let's the slides begins. Yeah, the aspect that I'm going to cover in this workshop are, as you know, coping with exam stress, which include anxiety and so on, exam preparation, how to prepare for exam the day before, the day after, common mistakes during exams, wherein the answer are hidden somewhere wherein you cannot access them anymore because you are so stressed. And then lastly, we'll talk about academic integrity, which I won't go in detail because they've already spoken about it. It's the issue of Proctoring, because everything that we do, in order for you guys not to be laughed there where you are going to look for a job, because you're going to be competing with a high performance other universities like VETS and so on. This the UNISA qualification is just they write exam at home. Obviously, they're giving them, but no, not at UNISA. Our students are the best, according to research. Right. Let's look at the coping with exam stress. Stress is happening to everyone. There's no one doesn't have stress at the moment. No one. Everyone has stress. It's just that stress goes with degrees. There is positive stress and negative stress. So with regards to that, among students, it's common. Why? You have got family, you've got boyfriends, you've got girlfriends. That's a relationship problem, right? It can filter that relationship problem to study problem. So it affects your academic life. Therefore, now you become stressed. You don't even know what to do. You don't even know what to read. It doesn't go to your head because you are more stressed. Mostly, psychologists found that examination is most common source of stress. Why? Because now they're telling you, they think when we're giving you this exam preparation, we think we are already prepared for exam. That's why we say the exam preparation. So we don't want a situation whereby you come back and said, but you told me about the Proctoring. So what is happening? So with regards to this Proctoring and so on, so it's just an information so that it must reduce your stress. Right. So there are several ways to cope with stress. Yeah, go to the next slide, please. Yes, there's several ways to cope with stress, right? Then you can see on the left-hand side, on the top left, you can see some will say, I see a vase. Some will say as two-faced facing each other. Some will say I do not see anything. It's normal, right? It goes with the degree of stress that you are going through. And it also goes with the level of your learning. Some are left-hand brain learners, some are right-hand brain learners, some are whole brain learners, right? So therefore, don't stress yourself. It's all about perception. I'm not going to talk about perception today. I'm not going to teach you psychology. I'm just trying to give you a background to understand what's going on when you are stressed. So therefore, that is why sometimes to reduce stress, sometimes you need to do some exercise. Sometimes you did need to do, those who have got partners, they need to be together. Sex is also a stress reliever at the main. Somebody's going to say, yeah, you know what, now it's no longer exam preparation. We're talking about things which releases stress here. We're talking to the adults, not kids. For small one, please just run the road, run until you reach Durban, doesn't matter. Then you're going to release stress. Speak to someone, a friend, a psychologist. I see everyone is laughing because I have touched the topic that they like the most. So I wanted to see which topic do they like. It's interesting, this one, right? No, it's the topic of another day. So therefore, you talk to somebody in order to get a different perspective, because in life, we sometimes need to get rid of ourselves. The problem is, if I ask you now, last year, previous year before 2019, 2020, 2021, because that was in the peak of COVID-19 holiday. So therefore, if you ask them, how many of them has consulted the psychologist? None. But they wanted a car to run continuously without going for a service. How is that possible? Guys, psychologists are there for you to consult even if you don't have any problem. Just to check, it's a checkup. How many of you have gone to the doctor if you don't have flu? You find that somebody says that I've got 5 years without even seeing a doctor. Then now, you've got a colon cancer, which could have been prevented. Guys, you've got medical aid. At home, they've got medical aid for those who have it. I'm not saying to everyone, but at this main, guys, go and consult. Go to the doctor. Today, I'm just coming for you to check my whole body. Sometimes they will find something that can be prevented because you delay. 5 years old, they said this thing is 5 years old. We cannot do anything now. We can't do anything. But these things, if you go now, they said, no, I see there's a problem here. We need to tackle it now. Just go and see a psychologist. They will clear your head. We are going to talk to you until your head is cleared. Right, we've got anxiety, stress, fear, worry, and distress. All these aspects, they lead to stress. Okay, so stress, I said to you, there's positive one and negative one. But here we're going to talk about the negative stress. Though the positive stress makes you to do the work, negative one makes you to neglect the work and you end up doing nothing. Then you fail. Then you come back. UNISA say we cannot take you anymore. You are even over age, man. You are now reaching 50. Even if we take you, even if you finish your qualification, where are you going to work? Because they will say for internship, they need how many? What is 35? Ne? They need 35. Papa already on the 40s. Now the world's coming crumbling down on you. So to avoid that, things need to change. Now you need to change the way you do things. 2, you need to change the way you look at things, because if you change the way you look at things, things you look at will change as well. Write that down, because I'm a teacher and a pastor, so sometimes I want my students to write down so that they can also do the revision at home. Write this down. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. If you change the way you look at your spouse will change, right? Because you have changed the way you look at them. Every day you are negative, you've got negative perception about them. Then now today you are looking at them positively. You motivate them, you tell them how good they look. Because if you don't tell them how good they look, somebody else outside there, they tell them how good they are, then somebody is starting to enter into your life. I'm just joking. I'm just telling you the background of how things are in this world. Right, let's continue. I love it, because in my workshop, I will see hands, I will see people smiling. People must smile, man. Why do you have to have that rust? You are getting a free therapy now, right? Time management during examination, last minute studying, emergency studying. This is the problem. No matter how smart you are, like Patwani, Pastor Patwani, you cannot not study the night before exam. for one of the following reasons that I'll tell you about. If you happen to study a night before exam, and then you are on the road, then there's a traffic, you start to panic. All the things that you studied last night goes out of the brain. Or you see the accident. You did not even see the person dying, but you saw some cars and wheel. The only thing which comes to your mind, somebody might have died there. You see this captain on the road, so you become to stress and you are going to write exam. So last minute studies, emergency study, we don't promote it at UNISA. UNISA students should be able to study and take time to study, because this studying is not only for now, it's a lifelong learning. You need to do this so that when you come to where you are working, you will be able to show me what you learn from your theory. I repeat, you are not studying. You are not asking somebody to write your exam for you, because you won't know what is in the content. Why? Because when we come to where you are working, you wouldn't know what you're supposed to do. When you say operate me because I've got a problem in my stomach, you are more likely to even cut the rib, because you don't even know what the stomach look like. Or you cut my stomach because you cannot be operated, because you do not study it yourself. Make sure you study it yourself, learn from your own mistake. Don't let somebody do it for you, because you will not know a thing. Accept the fact that you cannot study everything. That's normal. You can't do anything. Imagine the book look like a Bible. Even the pastors, they cannot read the whole Bible even if I give them 20 years. There are some verses that they only had. They haven't read it themselves. Identify the key concept or topics. So I think Dr. Becker spoke about what to define and what action words and so on. These are the things that you need to take into consideration when you're answering exam. You use your own words. We don't want you to plagiarize. Check for apps that can help you to learn how to paraphrase. Look for other different word which says the same words. That is when we say use your own words. Somebody go and study guide and copy everything and say this is my own words because it's typed by me. It's somebody's work. We are talking about you changing the words, but still remaining the meaning that is original meaning. It does not lose what we are saying, right? It's simple. Say it in other ways. It's a mixture of flour and something, but that's bread. So we are talking about things like that. That is when we're talking about using our own words. Write and explain. Every time, if you want to get marks, and if you want to catch Dr. Kubeka, the lecture of God, write with example. When you answer, give them example, show them that you understand what you're talking about, because that's what they want to see. Do you really understand? So that they cannot take out students who are going to the field without knowing the work. Imagine getting 50% of work. I was fighting sometimes when I was doing my master's at University of Pretoria. Ask them, but I got 50%, but you only know 50% of work. So which means you are not even ready. What happened to the other 50, right? So therefore, say for instance, in an operation, you are going to operate someone. You only know how to operate 50%. What happened to the other 50? You are more likely to make somebody die because it might be 49%. So aim high so that you get over 80s, 90s. We note in the 20% one, you are going to get it on the field, but you cannot not be happy when you got 50%. That is why they don't allow you to go to honors. That's why they don't want you to go to masters when you pass with 50%. Why? Because you don't know anything. You know even half of the book. You need to know 80% of the book so that when you go further there, because you are going to master anything, you are going to honor everything. That is why we need people who are more qualified and based on studying. It's standard. Stress is affect everyone. Now, sometimes when I'm on my other bed day, I become stressed and then I forgot things, you know. Yeah, that's normal. So you can attest, we work together with this gentleman. Right, let's determine your brain dominance. Let me give you a minute for you to see what is written there and tell us. I want only 2 hands quickly. Raise your hands or tell us what do you see there in the picture. If you don't see anything, it's fine. You don't kill yourself. No, don't. If you see 5 things, it's fine. Tell us. I see Modimo. Modimo, allow her to unmute and tell us what she's seeing. I just want only 2 people. Let's go there.
I see a rabbit.
Yeah, Mr. Makahane, Umsibi said he sees a rabbit.
A rabbit.
Yes.
Correct. He saw one thing, ne? And where's the rabbit facing? To the right-hand side, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
But if you look on the left, there's a bird, ne?
Yes, there's
True.
also a bird if you look to the left.
Some people are still looking, they cannot even see what I'm talking about. It's fine. They'll find it tomorrow. Right. We are now talking about the So the left-hand brainers, the right-hand brainers. As you know, some people are good on maths, some people are good on language. The left-hand brainers, if I'm not mistaken, their language is perfect like Patwani, but maths, I mean, everything. Therefore, not call something else. Then the whole brain learners, they can be able to see both sides. You can exercise your brain by trying to work around it so that you must be a book of useless information, right? Write it down. A book of useless information. It's there. You must buy it and read what is in that book. A book of useless information. So therefore, you must read anything about everything. Therefore, it will help you to develop and become a critical person. And at the same time, that's where you can become a whole brain learner, wherein you can look on both sides of the things. And this helps you when you are also faced with a problem, how to solve a problem. You don't only have one way to solve a problem. You devise means and many ways to solve one problem. So if you are whole brain learners, those who have seen two things, chances are they are whole brain learners, unless if they saw it by default, because there are some people who get it by default. All right, let's continue. Right, exam preparation. There's an issue of motivation. At the top there, you can see dancing. Yes, I did it. People are very negative. They're those one on the bottom of the pyramid. I want to do it. Imagine that negativity. Jesus, I don't want them in front of me, these ones. I can't do it. Imagine. I want this one. I want to do it. Show me how to do it. I will do it. I will try to do it again. If you fail at first, try again, because failing means first attempt in learning. Or write that down, because some people don't even know it. It's not mine. I'm just trying to use it. Fail means first attempt in learning, right? So don't feel bad if you fail. It has happened to other people. Most of the successful people in this world who knows what they're doing, they are people who failed. If it was about me, I will never employ somebody who passed everything at a go, because they know nothing. I need people who fail because they repeat, and then they become to get experience on their repetition. So therefore, repeating means you are gaining experience, So don't feel bad when you did not pass physics or whatever at a go. No, there's some other concepts that are important in your life that they want you to know, because you cannot do there upfront without that concept, right? And the other part is that you must ask yourself a question: why are you studying? That should be an instructive motivation, not expressive, because what you are motivated by something outside. I'm motivated because I want to make revenge. This Kolile, his father has killed my father there in Durban. So his family must see to me that this time I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm going to put all of them to jail. What if Kolile dies and his family before you even finish your study? Then you're going to revenge to the wrong people. No, you don't do study because you wanted to revenge. It must be a personal motivation. I want to study because I want to be the first member to have a doctoral. Okay? My mom and my dad died without having it. Even my grandfather failed to have it. Even my siblings failed to do it. So I want to be the first person in this family to have acquired a doctoral degree. And I'm going to do it, right? Not a revenge qualification. No, emotional qualification, I don't even want it. Once you come to counseling and say, Patwani, Mine, I want to do law. Ask your question. Why? No, you know what? Our neighbor has been, they killed our dog, they killed our cat, and our daughter, she nearly knocked by their car. Now, what if those neighbors go and stay in Senten, and you cannot even go and stay there? Man. No, we are not going to allow that. What does success mean to you? Then there must also be an aspect of trying to understand what success means to you. How much do you believe in yourself? So self-motivation is a very, very important one, except the motivated from outside that I want to build a big house, and then that big house that you want, because they are always a place where it's called by a name. When you go there, that thing that they're talking about is no longer existing. It's Shashin and Davidon. But there's no longer Shashin. Then you ask yourself, is this really Shashin? Right? They say there used to be a big house here, but there's no big house. You understand? So when you are motivated by something outside the self, it becomes difficult for you to complete what you have started. But if it's an internal motivation, you are more likely to complete it because you are still there. The one that has started the process is going to finish it. Let's go. Common mistake during exam preparation. You see, I will cook the book and drink the soup of the book. Oh, it doesn't work like that, Polly. And then I saw you in a computer lab. You've got a tendency of allowing students to sleep there, thinking that they will drink the book. They sleep on top of the. No, you got to study. There is no information from the book that will come into your head without studying. Let me give you an example. Even in the Bible, but Daniel, his 3 guys, Abednego, Meshach, and Shadrach, those guys were learned. To show that God wanted people who went to school, right? So now you're starting to lie. Hey, this book has come with it's coming from Western what? Knowledge is from the book. Don't read and say it's gonna. Don't sleep on it or cook it and think the knowledge will come to your head. You got to study. You got to go and do research because that is the way to go. Avoid procrastination, saying I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never come, because if tomorrow never come, what happens? Not having a plan. You are just a person who doesn't even have a short-term goal and long-term goal. That's a problem to me. You need to have a plan. You need to know exactly where to start. You need to know, Otini, in these 3 years, I should have acquired my degree. If it all fails in the next year, the following year, the 4th year, I should have a degree in hand, right? There are 2 types of degree, junior degree and professional degree, but I'm not going to talk about that. Review information that you already know. So therefore, that is where you do S33R method, all right? Recite, rehearse, and review, all those kind of things. When you are studying, you need to rehearse. You need to go through even the singers, they rehearse, right? So cause go to practice, né? Because they cannot do it unless if you're a Chiefs fan, like part 1. The team is losing every day even if they're training, you know. So that is something else for another day. But the bottom line is, please practice. Practice makes perfect, right? Practice makes perfect. So rehearse. You will sing this module. You will sing those kind of things. Cramming the night before, that is an emergency study. I don't even promote that because I've got a fast brain which I can take 1,000 words in a second. So sometimes I can do this, but not you. You are not like me. Unless if you've come to me, I gave you a trick. You are like me. Then you can do that. But if I never gave you that, don't even try it. Don't try this at home. These people. I will give you to these people, yes. Tell them not to try this at home. It's dangerous. Common mistake during exam preparation, failing to follow instruction. Some people can be very prepared, well prepared in advance about this, but because they did not read the question correctly, they got it all wrong. All right? When you do not read the question correctly, you are more likely, even if you are well prepared, to dish out the wrong information. That is why if the question is asking multiple choice, they said it's not, when I choose the correct answer, then you're out of the question. You need to read carefully, underline the words, don't underline your computer. Failing to follow instruction, failing to identify and define important technical terms, Doctor has spoken about this, writing too much or too little. Yes, I think Doctor avoided this question, and I'll get him. Dr. Ubeka, I'll get him. How much too much should I write in order for me to get so much marks? The principle is, if it's 10 marks, if it's typed, it's half a page. But facts, write that down. Half a page if it's typed, but facts, okay? If it's written, like Polly was telling you that it must end, this NR is something for something written, handwritten, then it must be full page, because some of the time you find that if I retype what you wrote there in words, it's not even, it's half a page or less than half a page. So in order for you to gauge your marks, full page for 10 marks, right? You must write quick if you're writing by hand. But if you're typing, at least half a page, but facts, standard, done. I've helped you now. Doctor, if he fight with me, is fine. I'll talk to him on another platform. Careless errors, right? Then you write in bold in order to think that the lecture will be confused. Lectures are not confused. You are going to write with a normal handwriting. You cannot change your handwriting. That's why they even ask this Proctoring. I realize why. Listen, totally, it's because somebody has got 5 handwriting in one exam. They just think 5 people are writing for this person. First time, they were still relaxed, writing nicely. Second time, they changed the handwriting because the information is no longer there. Third time, because the time is depleted, they start writing bold. Doesn't change anything. These people, that's UNISA students for you. Have a positive exam attitude, students for UNISA, man. I love you guys. Love you too much. That's why I'm telling you all this. Online exams, writing at home does not mean you can copy. The exam are invigilated. They spoke about this. Online exams have time limits. Guys, it doesn't change anything. And that 48 hours they gave you that she mentioned that is for uploading or whatever you call it. And it's not right again. And you have got an option. If you put your things in order, That 15 minutes that they give you before, you can start writing because the question paper is already there, right? You start writing. So you have got extended time. You cannot not wait for wasting time. But it's for technicalities. I am aware of that. But you still have that 15 minutes. That time is the one that you can, 15 minutes I can do 2 questions, man. Then I have time to review my work if it's correct, colleague. Right. It is more tempting not to study for online. Yeah, some people just think I will open the book. Then you open the book during the exam, you don't even know where the answer is supposed to be situated because you did not study. But if you have studied, you even know the page number. You can even put the separator, right? So that you can go strictly to that page. But please, you do not rewrite part 1's information. You go to Google Scholar, part 1 Makahani. I want to write about experiences. Part 1 appears. You copy my work, and I'm the one who's going to mark your words. So this is my words. I will even write in your exam script when you apply it back. This is my words, please. That's why I do not give you anything. We ask you to change and write your own words, your understanding about what I said about experiences. Don't be fooled by the fact that it's online. This does not change the fact that it's still an exam, because we want as much as possible the credibility of your exam so that you can compete with students from anywhere. There is no way they will say this one's coming from UNISA. UNISA students are well behaved. UNISA students are well experienced. UNISA students are hardy students. So we want that. We are so proud of our students, you know. So whenever they put in the social media, hey, UNISA students, I just say to myself, that is the one that they've met. Maybe it's from another university, which I don't know where it's coming from. Not the UNISA I know. Because I work for UNISA. I'm not protecting them because I work for them. No. If there's something that is not right, I will tell you. Because that's my job. I'm not here to brag about UNISA, that and that. But the bottom line is, in order for your exam to be credible, there should be this protocoling. You might find it's something wrong. It's not wrong. It's protecting you in the long run. Familiarize yourself with the timetable. Layer exam timetable. One day I went to go to exam the following day after exam while I was reading in Bella Park. Some years back. I don't even want to reveal my age, but I already told you. Then when I reached there, the exam is written. When I said, hey, maybe these people, they gave me a wrong timetable. I think I was ashamed because the invigilator asked me, what's happening? I said, no. You see, I was supposed to write today. They said, no, the exam started yesterday. I said, no. They gave me the wrong timetable. They said, go and collect the timetable. I went and then I did not come back because I was ashamed of myself. So please read your timetable. Let it be in the fridge or the favorite place that you go frequently, the bathroom, everywhere. Or this date at this time I'm writing exam. It must be there. Also, download the load shedding schedule. We are not going to be threatened by you saying, yeah, there was a load shedding. You must give me another opportunity. You know in advance that there will be load shedding. So I was laughing when Koli, because it's the technical person, and I'm not technical person, when he said, yeah, there will be load shedding in 4 minutes time. But I imagine, I'm using my phone for this. For this Wi-Fi, he's talking about load shedding. I said to myself, this gentleman is starting to lie to students now, you know. So have a backup plan, you know, backup plan, something to keep in when something goes wrong, you know. Have 3 phones. To use one as a Wi-Fi, charge it fully, because Bluetooth finishes the data and whatever you call it. I don't know. Timetable is currently available on my UNISA under my admin. You go to my admin. I know new UNISA is very complicated, but familiarize yourself. Go there to dashboard or desktop. Your go there. Check your things on time. Make sure that you have been admitted for exam. I think our colleague was talking about some of the admission is already out. Make sure you know that on time. Before exam, all question papers, they are there sometimes. Remember to use them as a baseline because they change your exam. Sometimes you might be lucky, you have scored lotto, and then you find that the question paper came in cities. Then that's your lucky day. We don't know. Always do the routine. Procrastination, I repeated that because you don't need to continue saying I'll do it this day, this day, this day. If you look on my screen there, you see you've put all the things that are important there. Important and urgent. These are important and urgent. They need to be done now. You see, they are there. They have plenty. You need to have that. You need to have in your room. You need to have it in your bedroom. Everywhere wherein you know that you are always mostly putting times on. Or even a TV. It must be a letter which even close there that it covers the person that you like to watch too much in Skim Sam. Then you must know that this is my reminder that I must do something. Because you cannot miss Skim Sam. What is the other problem, that one? For Limpopo. Yes, Skim Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're Nale. Because you're busy with Melissa too much and you forgot your books. Please, Melissa won't give you anything. Those people that are getting paid. When hi man. Hey Melita, hey, that man nearly died there. What is home or home? Whatever you call it. Please, guys, these people that are getting paid and the schemes they even have repeat. You can even record it and watch it another time after exam. Man. These people of my student they are stressing me. Yes, it's me who's stressing on their behalf now. Because of them, they're busy going to. I can't miss Melita. Really? You are writing exam tomorrow. Instead of checking that everything is in order, you are worrying about Mr. Home. That is a story, man. These people. All right, let's leave that one because they will fight with me, these people. Next slide. Examination continue. How to study session. You should study. There's a studying pattern. Sometimes you study for 40, 45 minutes. You take 15 or 5 to 10 to 15 minutes break. In the break time, you don't study. You don't think about the books. You think about, that's the time that you can open your WhatsApp and start talking to what then what. Yes, we can do forget a bit about books so that when you go back, you try to make your brain to work again. That is why in church, they have, they sing first, né? They do the singing so that they can go to spirit. Then the pastor, not the other pastors, the evangelists, because they can take 5 hours preaching. We're talking about the pastor, the teachers, they take 40 to 45 minutes, né? Because they know the brain. You know, if you preach for me for 2 hours or 3 hours, I become so frustrated. I no longer know what I'm supposed to do because the human brain takes information for 40, 45 minutes, then shut down. So that is how it works. I'm not saying you must go to church and say they taught us in psychology that you must not preach like this. Meaning how to minimize distraction, write down whatever might be worrying you, set a realistic study plan, explain to others that you are preparing, switch off the TV, and cell phone when studying. Switch off all these things. Why? You get a nicey wrong text from Patuani. He wanted to send somebody some animal, then it comes to you. Now you wanted to start to understand, who is this? What's happening here? No. Switch off the phone so that anything that comes to your phone won't distract you. Revision helps you to prepare, test yourself, set limits, practice in a way that you are going to be tested the day before. Physical strategies, study regularly up to the day before exam. You are not studying new information. If somebody says to you, colleague says to you when you are busy going to write now, you're left with an hour, you are sitting outside there because sometimes you go early. You said, hey, this question I've got a tendency to say, I feel like it's going to come because I saw it in many question papers. If you haven't studied, don't worry. In your mind, just say it won't come to exam. Because once you're trying to study new information, you are erasing the old information because your brain doesn't have the capacity to keep new information for a longer period. That's what we talk about short-term memory, which is a brief memory. And there's a strategy, guys. Get a good night's sleep. You must sleep and forget. Hey, let me tell you the other person who sleep even when there's a problem. The person who sleep, even if he knew that tomorrow is going to die. Peter, the night before he was going to be crucified, he was sleeping peacefully. All right? Then when he was sleeping peacefully, even the angel which came to wake him up and take him out, it was surprised. How can you sleep whereas you know that you are going to be executed tomorrow? You know that John has been executed already. What about you? Even the people who are praying for him, they were not aware of what's going to happen to him. That is why you must sleep. Good night sleep makes your memory to rewind and then keep you intact. So don't be like a ghost or somebody's coming from surgery, a doctor's coming from a surgery. When you are going to write exam, your eyes are red, you are tired. Then you start to nap a bit there, 15 minutes. Then when you wake up, time is gone. That is why if you study something now, tonight, and then you're going to write tomorrow, the information only comes after exam that you studied now, because the brain is still trying to arrange it. So the file is not yet created. So avoid that. Do not try anything new. I spoke about that. Supplement energy boosters. They will make you have a headache, Polly. You get a headache in such a way that you cannot even study. Don't try that. Well, BioPlus. It's new. But if you have been using it before consistently, it's fine. But don't try something new during the week of exam. It might either make you dizzy, headache, and so on. Just use something which is researched. Water, because your brain is 80% water. So if you drink more water, you'll never have a problem. They won't even worry when you're going several times to the toilet when you are in the exam. because you're gonna tell Proctoring. Do you tell Proctoring now I'm going to the loo?
Yeah, I'm telling.
No, why didn't you tell them that they can go to the loos? Because these people, they are started writing their press, so they cannot even go anywhere because they were told that any noise is a problem. Oh, they must tell the Proctoring, I'm going to the loo, please. I'm coming back. I'm back, Proctoring. You're not the Iris or one lawyer. Okay, long it is an owl.
Invigilator.
Invigilator. Are we done? Program director.
Yes, Mr. Makahan.
Are we done?
No, sir. Or you are
What
done
happened?
with your presentation.
No, I don't know. Yeah, that's like I'm done. I don't know. I want to see what is happening.
For some reason, it just disappeared, you know.
I'll just put it again.
Maybe it's angry that I'm taking time.
You've taken long.
Obviously, yes, you have, but you're not finished as yet, Mosager.
Okay,
You have to finish because we need all the information, you see.
Oh, okay.
You can try to be speedy, but
No,
we
let
need
me
all the
speed up. I think the information
Yes.
which are remaining is quick. Right,
Yes,
during exam, read over the exam paper before you start. Please read. I think this picture. I was fighting with Humuso about this picture. She said, I'm not going to put it anywhere. There's no space. I said, no. Put it. I want them to see it. You see, this is the exam on top, right? The correct answer is hidden there below. The person cannot even see it. During exam, this happens. Right. Know your mark value and each question so that you can divide your time appropriately. For multiple choice exam, sometimes in most cases, that multiple choice you are given 2 minutes per each question. So make sure that you don't think too much. If you don't know it, jump it. For written exam, handwrite, scan, upload as a PDF. Colleague has already spoken about that. For multiple choice exam, submit your answers on my UNISA exam tab. You see, sometimes I get some calls, students saying, but I cannot even get my question paper what's going on because they are not asked what to do. Academic integrity, plagiarism, make sure you work on your own. Otherwise, it's not your success. And then at the end of the day, they will even say your script has gone for hearing or something. I've got a lot of students who come saying, I've been called for hearing. What do I prepare? I said, I don't even know what to prepare because I've never been there. So I cannot take you to the place where I've never been to. Right, after the exam, fail. It is not the end. Celebrate, reflect, re-register, pass, celebrate, reflect, distinction, celebrate, reflect. But don't have a OCPD, because those who get distinction, sometimes they've got obsessive compulsive disorder. They wanted to get distinction. Wire. It's not possible, man. Then I'm done. And thank you. It's about back to you, program director, with question, and I will answer with Tole here.
My name is Clive Mondore. I'm a third year student and I'm studying Bachelor of Commerce in Transport and Logistics. I'm a representative of the Student Mentors team. Okay, the Student Mentors team is a group of individuals that are equipped with the necessary information and training to provide advices and guidance to the students on a wide range of issues relating to the academic life of UNISA students. Okay, our main goal as a team is to assist the students in achieving their academic goals while it's making their academic lives as smooth as possible. We actively aid and support students throughout the year by providing the necessary information, support, and guidance to all the students. As the exam season is fast approaching, I would like to advise all the students to make the use of the Student Mentors team in regards to all the questions and queries they might have about the upcoming exams, and we will assist to the best of our ability. To all those who might have questions or who are in need of assistance, Ms. Homoso is going to drop a link in the chat box. Kindly click on that link and get yourself registered, and she will allocate you to the mentors who are in the close proximity to your area, and they will assist you to the best of their knowledge. Thank you for your time. Have a pleasant afternoon.
The student mentors are here for all our students to assist with any of your modules if you encounter any difficulties. They are free of charge, so you don't need money to consult. So they are available throughout our Gauteng region, throughout all our RCs, our regional centers, and our campuses. Yes, you can access them through the link that Moto is going to drop on the chat box.
All right, yeah, maybe perhaps, thank you very much, guys, for listening to heeding for this call, because exam is always stressful, and most students, due to stress, they are here, and they wanted to be distressed. And that is why my job was so easy, because I know you are stressed. Anything that I will say, you'll be liking it, because I'm going to stress you more. So having said that, I think I want to thank you first, because you are very important. Us and my colleagues, it's different. I will still thank them. But the only people that will need to thank them is people like students, because this is their information, not our information. So therefore, coming and taking your time, maybe in your busy schedule, maybe in your busy time, it means a lot to me personally. It's just that me, perhaps to others might not mean the same thing, but to me, it means a lot that you have taken your time off work, busy schedule, and try to listen to us, whether you do not even know what we're going to talk about. But having said that, I really want to thank you guys, and keep up the good work, and good luck for your exam as well, because the purpose for this was for exam preparation, and good luck for exam. So I want to also thank the colleagues, and one by one, right? The one who opened the program for us. In fact, we must start by talking about the people who are working on the background, because they are the one who make this workshop very possible. Humus and the team. Thank you very much, guys, for doing the wonderful job. If it was not because of you, even we have got load shedding, but you made sure that everything runs smoothly, putting the slides, making sure that everything runs smoothly. I want to also thank Ms. Masrame, my colleague from Val. You did a wonderful job for opening the platform for us. Mr. Daniel Rasbos and Mashudu Chikakisa, we thank you. You help the students to understand the value of assignments, because without assignment, you won't be allowed to write exam. And apart from that, assignment as well, they help you to gauge you to make sure that, are you ready for the upcoming exam? That's what the value of assignment. We thank you for that. Dr. Kubeka, you always hit for our call. We really appreciate you, right? And you don't even disappoint. Every time I'll see your email, hey, when is the date and time and so on, because you want to put things on time. You are a principled person. We appreciate your time as well. Miss Mary Moloisani, we appreciate your time. Exam matters very, very much, and the students need to know about what you were telling them, because without that, they always run like headless chicken or headless ducks, you know. So to avoid them running like headless ducks, you alleviate all the problems that they might be faced with. Ms. Tulisile Masibuko, disciplinary matters. Tell them, if they copy or they ask for you to write for them exam, they are going to go for hearing. Chances are they might be expelled for 5 years. So there's no doubt about that. So I fear, when I hear disciplinary matters, I just fear the worst can happen. Mr. Tolile Gaba, my colleague, thank you, brother. Sure. For scanner apps. Yeah. Don't confuse scanner apps and the Proctoring. Scanner app is not the fourth thing. It's just something that helps you to scan your document, to change the written work to PDF, and so on. Mr. Makahane, we cannot jump him. How? What's your problem? Why need to hear this guy want to praise himself? No, we need to thank him for availing himself. Mr. Makahane, thank you for availing myself. Cliff, thank you and your colleagues. Guys, don't forget, Cliff and the other students, even you guys, sometimes some of you, maybe you are on the 3rd year or 4th year, whatever, you might be becoming a student mentors. It's very important for you to team up with the student mentors. They help you to simplify your work, and it reduces your stress. So that is the role of both Cliff Mundure and the colleagues, they are student mentors. I think they told you about the evaluation. Dr. P, on your absentia, because I know you have got a busy schedule. You were supposed to be the one to do the vote of thanks. Thank you very much, our boss, for making sure that you allow us a platform to help our students. To me, students is my life. So without students, I know I don't exist, because my life is based on helping students. So therefore, with nothing much to say, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.